Hey guys, Cher here. This past year at school, I discovered there was a library across the street from my apartment, so I went there every other weekend to take out the manga section. Not the whole thing, but you know what I meant. There were a lot of interesting reads there, and there were series I wanted to try out before watching the anime. Some of those series, however, didn't convince me enough. This video is to explain that, and believe me, there are a few series that I'm probably going to get hated for, but I digress. Like the anime version of this, I won't mention a series if I didn't finish the first volume. It's only fair. The first series I'll talk about, which is kind of obvious, Sailor Moon. I know this is an instant classic for the whole country of Japan. Every otaku, even outside the country, knows what this series is, or has read the manga, or has seen the anime before. I tried watching the first episode of the show, and it didn't move me. I tried reading the manga, still wasn't convinced. I think my problem with the series after reading the first volume is that the manga goes by too fast. I feel like the series is throwing all this information at you, but you don't have the time to ingest it before the next volume, or even the next chapter. I read volume 1, which makes sense, and when I got to volume 2, it was like I was missing a couple of chapters or something. If you like it, fine, but I'm just not interested. The second one, which I kinda hate to talk about this, because I like the anime so much, Blackbullet. As I said, I loved the anime when I saw it. Actually, it's considered to be one of my favorites. Of course, I knew the anime was inspired by the light novels, but the novels also inspired the manga, which came out in 2012. The manga, in comparison to the light novel and the anime, is kinda half-assed. How half-assed? They almost ignored the emotional meeting between Rentaru and Enju, which happened to be my favorite part of the series as a whole. There's no emotion in the manga, which angers me. Blackbullet is an emotional type of series you just can't ignore. If you want my opinions, read the light novels if you can, watch the anime, don't put up with the manga books. The third series, DN Angel. Yeah, the plot is as stupid as it sounds if you guys have heard of it before. I thought I could see past it, but when I started volume 2, I realized that the stupid plot was impossible to ignore. I can see it being a guilty pleasure for some people because of the romance side, but not me. Even if it's something that has a romance title, I start to get very iffy, especially with today's delivery. If you like true interesting stories, ignore this series. Not even the anime will convince me. Next up, Stepping on Roses. I don't know how many people know what this series is, so I'm just gonna give you the down low. This series tells the story of a poor girl named Sumi who has to get married to a rich man in order to keep her family, consisting of her older brother and many younger siblings, afloat. However, she comes to realize that her happily ever after is not so happy as she first thought. The answer to why I dropped this series is simple. The reason why I decided not to go back to it is even more insane. For those of you who have no idea what the series is about, it contains a lot of relationship abuse, which triggers me to no end. The reason why I didn't go back was because my future roommate, Charlotte, being an otaku like myself, spoiled the rest of the series for me. I won't spoil it for you, but if you are curious, I will probably make another video about it later because the whole entire series is ridiculous. But to save yourselves, avoid this series at all costs. Next, Seraph of the End. I wanted to like this series because of how much more popular it got when the anime was released, and in the beginning, I was intrigued. However, with the little information we get about Michaela on his end after the time skip, I was getting very bored very quickly. Yuichiro is a bratty character which I cannot stand. We've seen this trope so many times. He's just another one that we don't need. Next, Pandora Hearts. My problem with this series, because I was reading my sister's manga, was that the plot was getting so complicated that I couldn't really keep up with it anymore. And that was 5 volumes into the series. I heard it was really good, with a really good anime on the side, but I just couldn't get into it, even though Gilbert's really hot. Maybe I'll pick it up again with the anime to start off, but I'm still on the fence. Lastly, Twin Star Exorcist. Again, I'm not sure how many people know of this, even with the anime that came out, but here's the skinny anyway. Rokuro, at 14 years old, despite being raised as an exorcist all his life, does not want to be an exorcist because of an incident that happened in the past. However, he and a new girl at school, Benio, are both announced as a part of a prophecy to eventually get married and give birth to an heir in order to save the world. As expected, these two hate the idea and each other. Honestly, I love Rokuro as a character. Benio is just another generic Maka from Soul Eater. Why do these stupid characters always get paired up with the sincere main leads? Rokuro deserves so much better. Like Mayura, for example. She's so innocent and cute. I know there are probably more manga volumes to read since this series is still ongoing, but the more I read this manga, the more I couldn't stand the fact that Rokuro just might, maybe, like Benio, and actually go through with a ridiculous prophecy to begin with. The eventually getting along device is used too many times, but when used right, it wouldn't even matter. However, this kind of relationship between these two kind of made me cringe, and I had to stop reading. Maybe eventually I'll get back into it, but as for right now, I don't care if I end up getting spoiled about the series at this point. In fact, maybe getting spoiled would do more good than harm. Well, that's it for this episode of Why I Dropped, Manga Edition. If you liked this video, make sure to give some likes and comments about series that you dropped for any reason whatsoever. You want to help me get back into some series in order to go further? You can put your reasoning there too. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all again next time. I'm Cher, and this has been real. Bye bye!